Hey guys, Trev here, back with the Model 3 Performance. Now, one little experiment that I've been wanting to do is to check whether I am losing battery at night. Now, we all know about vampire drain and phantom drain, but these updates that are constantly coming to the car could be fixing this. So I have been, plugging in my car every night since I really got it, but I want to see for myself how much it actually loses being unplugged and sitting there overnight. But I'm going to take it one step further. As you guys can see, I got this great garage here, which I keep the car in. It's an unheated garage, but it does provide some insulation. So I'm going to do one test with the car inside here overnight, and we'll see how many kilometers it loses. And then I'm going to do one additional test with it outside to see if there's some sort of large proportional difference between inside or outside. So yeah, let's give it a go. Okay, so we're going to do this inside-outside test tonight to see about vampire drain. So let's start tonight, since it's like 3 degrees Celsius outside. It's pretty cool. Let's start with the outside test. Oh, and the car is asleep. This is a good thing to note too. When the car is asleep, it's not going to respond to that. So let's wake her up. Okay, we can see we're at 70% on the dot, and that's what we're going to leave it for both tests. So that ends up being 356, basically on my battery, 356, and that's where we'll go. So we're going to start outside. Now it says 15 degrees. That's because it's fairly insulated in the garage here, but outside is 3 degrees. So we will back this thing out now and park it where it's going to be for the night. Okay, so I found a bit of a better parking spot here. We're sitting at a flat level area. Again, the car still isn't adjusted for the temperature, but it's going to get down to 3 degrees Celsius here tonight. It's probably about 7 now, and I'm sure it will adjust as it sits. And I'm going to go back inside. We'll see what the vampire drain is. And one other thing to note here is I'm going to make sure that Sentry mode's actually off. I want this thing to go to sleep, so it's a really efficient test, and we're not draining the battery inherently just by having Sentry mode on. Yeah, all the other settings are going to be off, obviously, and the car should go to sleep fairly soon. Good night, little car. How about this 2003 Civic still holding up strong? Coffee time. Okay, now we can go check the car. Open sesame. Okay, what do we think it's going to be? And it was at what, 356? Beauty. Okay, so it's just waking up from sleep mode there. Okay, just making sure that's focused for you guys. We are sitting at 352. So that gives us a 4 kilometer loss from last night plugging outside. So that's 4 kilometers without Sentry mode on, just being outside for, where are we at, 10 here. So it's been outside here for about, well, I'm gonna have to check the time after, but what I'll do is I'll match the time. So tomorrow I'll check the garage one around 10:30 in the morning, and we'll park it at the same time and unplug it, so we get a verifiable amount of time as well. But yeah, 4 kilometers range loss being outside for the entire night. Now this was a first time thing for me here. It said regen braking limited. I'm so used to keeping, I guess, plugged in the garage. That's probably due to the temperature of the battery there. So yeah, it's my first time seeing that message, but I will put her back in the garage here. in my ridiculously steep driveway, which is a nightmare, to be honest. You invite people over and they can't get out of their cars when they park in it, but the garage is nice. In you go, little car, back in your home. It thinks it's crashing every time it hits that driveway. And there we go, parked in true BMW style. Perfect. Okay, so now is time for the inside test. Obviously, I still have not WD-40'd that door seam. But yeah, here we go. So we've got the car on the charger. It will be charged up to the exact point it was for the outside test. And we will see what the difference is. Now, of course, this garage, even though it does have a heater there, it's never been on since we bought the house. So unheated here, same thing, about 4 degrees outside tonight. It's fairly cool in here now as well. So let's get inside and see where we're at. So here we go, 10 o'clock. Here we go, 10:02 right now. So we'll give it the same 12 hours it had. We'll check it again around 10 tomorrow. And we are at 14. It shows inside here, but again, it's going to get cooler throughout the night. And 352 now. The reason why you get a little bit of difference is even though we're charging to the exact same point, it's not always going to charge to the exact kilometer rate. It's also going to be basing it off of your driving of the day, like what it's expecting to get. And as you can see from earlier, I hammered it. So the approximate range is going to be less. But again, all we have to do is take our starting position here, and we'll actually readjust it here. It's 351, and we'll see where we're at in the morning. We had, what, a 4 kilometer loss with it being outside, and we'll see what we get with it being inside. Good morning, little Lily.
Good morning.
So we're doing a little test to see how much battery it would lose if we left it overnight not plugged in.
Oh, you did? You did?
No, it hasn't been plugged in, yeah.
So what was it last time?
I'll show you after. Okay, let's check it out. Okay, so it's been about 12 hours so far. We're sitting at around 10 a.m. now, and we are at 349 kilometers. So where does this really leave us at the end of the day? We had basically a doubling of the loss when we were outside versus inside. Now, I know this was only 2 kilometers inside versus 4 kilometers outside, but that is a huge difference between them when you really look at a bigger scale. Now, the big question here will be, will this effect, this doubling effect of vampire loss or range loss in the cold, be pronounced in the center of the winter? So if we run this test in a few months when it's at the coldest, will we have the same thing in an insulated but non-heated garage versus being parked outside again? We'll have to test that out later, and we'll see how the results go. But for now, guys, that's it for this video. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and we love making these videos for you, and we're going to continue to do so as yeah, this whole thing is very new to us, and we're absolutely in love with it. So yeah, see you guys next time.